So, I had to smile when I heard that 1,600 points in high school. I was texting with my brother before I was coming there, and I said, if he would have passed me the ball a little bit more when I was a freshman, I probably would have had a little bit more points. But, it's so good to be here, see so many faces that I haven't seen in so many years. Teachers, so many people that made an impact in my life. And, I didn't write a speech. I knew that I wanted to be quick. I'm actually calling the game tomorrow noon in Syracuse. So as soon as I speak here, I'm going to be driving up to Syracuse. So I'm definitely going to be quick. But, I wanted to be here and just say thank you. Really, it's not about me, the accomplishments. That's nice and all. But, it's about the people that had an impact on my life. And I'm going to try to go through all those people because really, for me, when I look back at all these accomplishments that I have, a lot of people in this room were a big reason why. I start off, I look at Mr. Mills. Funny story about Mr. Mills, and Steve's here, and he'll attest to this as well, too. He took me to a WWE wrestling match. Now, my dad said, and Mrs. Mills, God rest her soul, they're like, there's no way we're going to a WWE wrestling match. My mom loved wrestling, Mr. Mills did, and they took us to this match, and I think me and Steve were sitting there looking around the crowd, and I think my mom and Mr. Mills probably had a lot more fun at that WWE wrestling match than we did. But, he was such a great influence on me as a kid. I think about the times we had with Joey McGinn and Steve running around in the backyard, but all the life lessons that he taught me. I think about the Whitehead family, Reverend Whitehead. I still say the prayer that he gave me as a kid, and my faith was very important in this journey. And I think about all the lessons that I learned from Reverend Whitehead. I still call his name every night in my prayers, and he, meant to me and my brothers and my family. It was everything. He talked to us about our faith. And I know as I've gotten older how important that has been in my life. So I wanted to thank him. And I just let you guys know, I know you know this, Renetta, Nikki, we talk about it often, how important Reverend Whitehead was to me as a kid growing up. I think about Kevin Phelan. When I first got up into Boston, you think that Bristol, doesn't have a far reach, but Kevin Phelan, who's been up in the Boston area, has been very successful, has been one of my biggest mentors, a friend, and really has been a really good kind of person for guidance for me as I continue this life journey. I think about Billy Gio. I think about all the times down at the Boys and Girls Club with the Whitehead brothers, playing with those guys, watching them play, and again, just strong role models for me growing up as a kid. I think about Rex Hamilton. I think about Norm Beelan. There's so many people that were impactful in my life. I think about Coach Bates, Jimmy Bates, at Memorial Boulevard. Again, the impact that these people had on my life, all this stuff does not happen without them in my life. But really the one thing that has always been there for me, and I really just wanted to say thank you to them, is my mom and my dad. My mom can't be here tonight. I didn't think I was going to do this, but, what they sacrificed for me and my brothers as kids, it really, I look at my kids now, and I know the feelings that they had and why they did it. Because that's all you want as a parent, is to see your kids have things. You want to see them be successful, but more importantly, you want to see them happy. And I think of the sacrifices that my parents made as a kid. Growing up on Emmett Street, materialistically, we didn't have much, but I felt like I was the richest kid around because we had a family on Emmett Street. Me and my brothers, 3 boys, in a 2-bedroom apartment in that back room, and I I think about some of the times how loud we were back there. And I think of my two boys now, and I'm thinking, man, my mom did this with 3 boys in that small place, but we had love, and they made sacrifices for us to make sure that we got an education, to make sure that we were loved, so that way we can go on and do the things that I did. So it's more about saying thank you to them. And finally for me, my brothers, my brother Martin, my brother Troy. I laugh at those pictures right there, but they were some of the most memorable times we had in Forestville Little League. I think about the times that my dad would be out there practicing with us. Not much pressure, just trying to get the boys to get some fundamentals, but more importantly, make it fun for us. So I just wanted to say thank you to them because without them and them making those sacrifices, none of this happens. I want to close on, in this room, and there's some that I may have missed, but every single one of you don't realize the impact that you had on a young Malcom Huckaby growing up. I think of starting off at Mary A. Callan, going to Green Hills, going to Memorial Boulevard, on up to Bristol Central. And I think about all the teachers that came in my life. I want to say thank you. And some of you are in this room. It doesn't happen without you. It doesn't happen without you putting that time into a young kid like myself and being positive with me. So I just really wanted to say thank you. We are back home now, and I hope that I can do some of the things that some of you people in this room have done for me with some of the younger generation coming up. Because without it, believe me, it would not have happened for me. So again, congratulations to all the other honorees. Really well-deserved. Enjoy the time with your family. But I'm just going to leave with a thank you to all of you in this room. Bristol has been really good to me. And I hope that I can do the same for Bristol. Thank you. Have a great night.